Nuclear technology, energy, weaponry. It's amazing how something so small could have such an impact on our world. So what do these words make you think? Destruction? Bombs? Something that falls from the sky? Like hell falling from the sky? A crazy little rocket Korean man trying to terrorize our country? Now, before jumping to conclusions, let us see, as we demonstrate to you, the roles, the responsibilities, and what an impact the IAEA, or International Atomic Energy Agency, does to the world. For 54% of Americans, the idea of nuclear power is a no-go. This negative association is not without reason. Time and time again throughout history, we've seen disaster. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, the meltdown of Chernobyl in 1986, even as recently as 2011, the Fukushima power plant disaster still remains concern over public health and safety. Nuclear power is a pretty big deal. So who, or what, can regulate something so powerful? This is an International Atomic Energy Agency. Think about it as the people that regulate and control all uses and practices of nuclear energy and power. To understand this organization fully, we have to go back in time. The discovery of radiation dates go back to the 19th century with figures such as Röntgen, Curie, and Rutherford, all scientists who have done groundbreaking research in radiation, like X-rays in 1895, Curie discovering rays from certain materials, and Rutherford denoting the difference between alpha and beta particles. Nuclear science became a frontier. Following the discovery of nuclear fission in 1938, American leaders feared that the Germans would utilize the power to create extremely powerful bombs of new types. Thus, in 1939, the United States started to work on what is called the Manhattan Project. Not long after, the world saw its consequences during the Second World War. Its effects were devastating and gruesome. Entering the atomic age in 1946, the United Nations adopted resolution to eliminate the possibility of future nuclear threats. Countries would get rid of their nuclear stores and safeguards would be put in place. At least, that was the goal. Despite the United Nations efforts, nuclear tests would continue to be conducted around the world. Finally, on December 8, 1953, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower urged the United Nations to try again to help solve the fearful atomic dilemma, to devote its entire heart and mind to finding the way by which the miraculous inventiveness of man shall not be dedicated to his death, but consecrated to his life. In 1957, the International Atomic Energy Agency formed as a partner of the United Nations. Since then, 168 nations joined the International Atomic Agency. In a way similar to the UN, the IAEA is led by the General Conference, which includes all nations within organization and a board of governors for which elect countries act as decision makers in relation to what issues and activities should be handled at that time. Since 2009, the position has been held by Yokiya Amano. But how does this organization work and how has it actually impacted the world? Well, the IAEA works to accelerate and enlarge the contribution of atomic energy to peace, health, and prosperity in the form of three main missions: promoting nuclear safety, placing safeguards for the nuclear weapons, and advocating for the peaceful use of nuclear technology. Here, however, is where the organization is most criticized. Despite of offering assistance to its member states and providing strict standards, the IAEA hasn't seemed to do much publicly. After the 2011 disaster in Fukushima, a nuclear accident specialist scolded the organization for ignoring lessons from the world's worst nuclear accident, providing assistance much later than it was needed. It was also pointed that the member states are encouraged to follow IAEA's guidelines and regulations, rather than them have a requirement for all that join. Still, the agency has helped to build up programs around the world in several areas of application, and have done so quite successfully, including research about how nuclear energy may help our climate, bringing medical technologies to its member states, raising awareness about peaceful uses of nuclear power. Other programs such as Global Nuclear Safety and Security Network work through penetrative and informative measures. We've been told by the popular phase that prevention is better than the cure. But as the nuclear tensions build in the world, with North Korea going on a rise with nuclear threats, more people are looking to see what the International Atomic Energy Agency will do. So, do you think it's enough?